is Janice again. I'm coming to you today once more, and we are still on the exciting topic of Your Calling is Calling. And today we're going to be looking at, the session we're going to be looking at is called Do Not Be Afraid. And sometimes we get intimidated by the magnitude of a dream that we may have. And what came to my mind today that I'd like to share with you is sometimes you may have a ministry or a business idea um, that you may have, and a goal that you may have, and you look at someone else who is doing something similar to what God has placed in your heart for you to do. And you look at them and you get intimidated because you feel that I don't think I can ever quite, uh, have a TV show like Oprah, or I don't think I could ever quite have a clothing line like Vera Wang, or um, I don't think I could ever quite have a functional family like the Cosbys or whatever, because I came from a dysfunctional home, or we may have all kind of reasons why um, the dreams that we have in our minds, the dreams that God placed in our hearts, we may be intimidated, we may be afraid and hesitant to go out and actually do the dream, um, because we're busy looking at someone else. But when we realize that no one can do what we can do, it's going to empower us for us to go ahead and do it our way. Because you can be the best you that there is. Because only you can be you. And you got to love you. Because there's no one else quite like you. And it's great to know. And so today what we're going to look at is um, we looked at Jeremiah before, and now we're going to look at Joshua. Uh, Joshua had a big shoe to fill. He had to fill Moses' shoes. Moses brought millions of people successfully through the wilderness, out from Egypt. And now here comes this young guy trying to take over for Moses. Now, talk about intimidation. Because he could easily look at Moses and say, you know what, I can't do this like Moses can. And the great thing about it is, God did not expect for Joshua to be like Moses. He expected Joshua to be Joshua. And he chose Joshua for a reason. So just like you, God chose you for a reason. He didn't choose somebody else to give you a dream for somebody else to fill. He gave you a dream for you to fulfill. And the great thing is, He's prepared you with your experiences, your education, or your lack of, because some people might be able to reach people that you can't reach. So the dynamics of your life, everything works out perfectly for your dream. You're not lacking anything. Anything that you may be lacking, it's in the path. It's in your path that you're supposed to be walking in. And as you keep in that path, everything you need to get to your dreams, it'll be there just in time. So I'm just here to encourage you and inspire you. And inspiration means it's something that motivates you to actually change, to go out and fulfill um, that change. And as we look at Joshua today, this is what God told Joshua. Joshua, of course, he has to fight some enemies to go and conquer this land, and that's the dream. And he believes in the dream. You have to believe in your dream. If you don't believe in your dream, ain't nothing gonna be happening. Excuse my language, but nothing's gonna happen if you don't believe in your dream. And so he believed in the dream. That's one thing I can say good about Joshua, and that's one thing that we can take from Joshua is he had faith in his dream, and so it brought forth the passion that he needed to go ahead and accomplish his dream. But I want you to turn to Joshua chapter 10, and there was this, you know, great army that he had to defeat, and so the first thing he did was in verse 7, it says, Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgad and set out for Gibeon, which is where they wanted to attack. Key there again, as I spoke about the last time, is he surrounded himself with people who were better than him in different areas, and that's always a key. So you can always go back and look at one of the other videos about one of the success videos about who you have in your success circle, and that's another thing. So he had belief in his dream. He got the right people behind him, besides him, in front of him, around him, And then God gave him these words. God said, "Do not be afraid of them," the Lord Jehovah said to Joshua, "for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you." So I don't care how many competition you think you may have around you. God is telling you, you know what? Don't be afraid of them. He says, "I have given you the victory over them." That is so awesome because we don't have to go and get the victory for ourselves. All we have to do is walk in the path that He has for us. Just make sure that we do what we're supposed to do in the past. We didn't miss anything. Don't think that you missed anything in the past or whatever. You just keep going forward towards your dream. And God is saying, do not be afraid of them. I have given you the victory. And the awesome thing is, He says, not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. So all the obstacles, the busyness, it could be failed marriages, it could be your children has gone crazy doing things that that you're not so proud of. Um, and there may be a whole host of things. You had to drop out of school. It doesn't matter. He's saying that nothing will be able to stand up against you. All these things were just for a moment, just for a season. But you know what? It's all part of the plan. Doesn't make sense, but it is part of the plan. And so in verse 25, he told him, "Don't ever be afraid or discouraged." Joshua told his men. You see, he learned something from God in the previous verse, and now he's telling his men, "Don't ever be afraid or discouraged." And I'm telling you today, don't you ever be afraid, and don't you ever be discouraged. This is Janice. I'll see you next time.